Hey, what is going on, guys? So today we're checking out the play Articulation, Final Fantasy VII Remake Tifa Lockhart. So yeah, this has been a pretty long awaited review, so I hope you guys will enjoy the video. There's been a lot of controversy with this figure, which I've covered in the past, but today we're going to check it out in person. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. Stay tuned, guys.
Take it slow.
Okay, so first up, let's take a look at the packaging. So on the front we have a nice photo of the figure itself. And right over here we have the Final Fantasy VII Remake logo and the Play Arts Kai logo. And on the sides of the packaging, once again, we have the logos for the game, and it's pretty much the exact same on the other side. So on the back we have a couple of screenshots of the figure itself in various poses. Very high quality photos. And down here we have some credits on the making of the figure. And just a quick look at the inside of the packaging in case you guys want to check it out. So right over here we have, once again, a nice photo of the figure itself, and over here we have a little bit of text. So if you guys want to read this, then by all means, feel free to pause and read. I hope you guys can see that. And right over here we have a nice window display to showcase the figure inside the packaging with all the accessories. Okay, so as for the accessories, so as you can see, we have a couple pairs of hands. We have an interchangeable faceplates and two pairs of interchangeable pieces of hair. And here we have the figure itself, which looks to be a very nice figure. And here we have the newly developed Play Arts Kai stand, and we have the packaging for the figure. And of course we have the instructions on how to assemble the pieces of hair and the faceplates. So yeah, that's a quick look at the accessories. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the figure. Okay, so I thought I would give you guys a look at how I display all of my Play Arts Kai, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and AC figures. So this is my entire collection. So I will make a review of every single figure here, so if you guys want to check it out, then it will be on the channel. So don't forget to subscribe and be sure to ring that bell notification so you guys don't miss out on all these remake figure reviews. But yeah, here's a look at all the remake figures which I currently have. So we have Rude, Sephiroth, Reno, Aerith, Cloud Strife, and Tifa. So yeah, let's go right ahead and take a closer look at the Play Arts Kai Tifa. Stay tuned, guys. Okay, so let's begin, and let's take a look at the head sculpts. And wow, I mean, guys, I really can't believe that I have this figure in hand. You know, I held off buying this figure for such a long time, probably like 1 year. So I am pretty late on making this review. But I mean, as I mentioned before, the figure had a lot of past controversy, so I just wasn't so sure if I wanted to pick this figure up. But you know, I've got to say, now that I've got the figure in hand, it's actually not a bad figure. It looks much better in person. I think the photos and all the videos don't do the figure justice. It looks much better in your hand. So yeah, I would say if you guys are still skeptical on picking up this figure, I would say go ahead and pick it up. You know, it's actually a very nice figure now that I see it in person. So some of the main controversies with this figure was the head sculpts. I think that was pretty much the main issue. But I've got to say, the figure looks a lot better now than when it did, when it initially came out. I mean, the figure looked so bad when it first came out. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen all the photos. So yeah, this is the updated head sculpts with this faceplates, and it looks pretty good. You know, it still doesn't have an exact likeness to Tifa from the game, but I would say it's pretty good. I would probably give it about 8 out of 10 if I was to rate the head sculpts. So yeah, this head sculpt looks pretty good. I still don't really like the interchangeable head sculpt here, like the angry expression. But yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and also let me know if you guys have picked up this figure. Leave any and all thoughts in the comments below. So in the game, Tifa's eyes are painted red, but on the figure, they look almost brown here, which I really don't know why. It's kind of like a mix between red and brown. I just wish that they painted her eyes a bit more red, just to make them stand out a bit more. But I mean, the paint job is pretty clean here. It's got pretty nice paint around the eyebrows and the eyelashes. You can see she has some gloss painted on her lips. So So yeah, overall, not a bad head sculpt. It's pretty decent, I would say, but it definitely doesn't look as great as the game toys Tifa. So now, as for the rest of the figure, it's pretty much perfect. I don't think there was any controversy with the body. It's you know, a very, very nice sculpt. It's pretty faithful to the game. As I mentioned before, the main issue was the head sculpts. But anyhow, let's take a look here. So here we have this shirt piece. It's got pretty nice folds and creases, and it is pretty accurate to the original design from the PS1. And here we have her hand with the glove. And I think we even have some materia in here. If you guys can see that, we have the red orb, like the red materia. And as for the other hand, we have this really nice red gauntlet piece. This is a pretty cool looking armor. Very nicely painted. And moving down here to the stomach piece. So as you can see, she's a pretty toned character. I mean, she's really in shape. She's a hand-to-hand combat fighter, so of course she needs to be in shape, and they've really shown that in the sculpting here. You can see she has abs sculpted in there, like almost like a six-pack. And down here we have the skirt piece with all these nice intricate details. I mean, you can even make out like the tiny zip piece, which is pretty insane detail, even like the belt and buckle. Very, very nice. And it is made out of a soft piece of plastic, so it doesn't hinder the articulation at the legs. And moving down here to the legs themselves, with these tights, these black tights, and we have the pretty iconic red boots, which once again, very, very nice. You can see all the laces sculpted in there. It's also got a very nice bright paint job. Looks very, very good. So yeah, that's the front of the figure. So this is the side of the figure, and we have a nice profile of the face. You can see all the nice hair sculpting in here. Very, very intricate, and it goes all the way down here. And there's a look at the side of the face itself. I mean, from certain angles, the head sculpt doesn't look that great, but for the most part, it is much better than the first release. And here we have the side of the shirt piece and the arms. We have this newly developed elbow joint. You know, I wasn't really sure about this joint in the first place. It's actually a very nice joint. And moving down here to the hands, and we have the skirt piece. And of course, the boots. And so this is the other side of the figure. And once again, we have a nice profile of the face. It looks pretty good from this side. I think it's a very nice profile. And we even have the earrings sculpted in there. The gauntlets. It also gives off a nice shine in the lights. It's very reflective. And moving down to the legs, the tights and the boots. And so this is the back of the figure, and we have a nice look at the hairpiece. I mean, check out all the sculpting here. All the strands of hair, just so intricately sculpted in there. Looks very, very nice. And of course we have the back of the figure itself and the arms. And of course the skirt piece. And the back of the legs with the pretty exposed double hinge joints. And the boots. Okay, so this is a look at the alternate faceplates, this angry head sculpts, and you know, I don't like this head sculpt at all. I just don't think it looks all that great. It just doesn't look right, you know? It doesn't look like Tifa. It's a bit ridiculous, this expression. I think this one looks way, way better, the standard faceplates. This one actually looks very, very nice, but this one, yeah, not so much. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you guys like it? Do you dislike it? Let me know. But yeah, just thought I would give you guys a quick look. And it is also pretty straightforward to switch out the head sculpts. It's just held on by like a peg joint. So you shouldn't have too much of an issue switching out the faceplates. So that's just a quick look at the alternate faceplates. Okay, so here's a comparison on both of the Tifa figures which have been made by PlayArts Kai. So we have the Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, Tifa Lockhart. And of course we have the new remake, Tifa. So yeah, both amazing figures. Which design do you guys like better? Let me know in the comments below. I've always been a fan of the AC design. You know, this was the first time that I ever seen Tifa, and it was the first time that I was ever introduced to Final Fantasy VII. So I've just always loved these designs, but I do love the remake designs. I think they're more true to the game, and I guess it looks more iconic as well. Okay, so the AC Tifa. So yes, this is a very nice figure. It's also a very old figure. It's very outdated. It's probably coming up close to like 10 years since this figure was released, which is pretty insane. I still remember picking this figure up, and it's still one of my favorites. You know, even though it doesn't look a lot like Tifa, I never really had a complaint with this head sculpt. I really don't know why. I just like this head sculpt a lot. There's just something about the original AC Tifa head sculpt which I still like, even though it's not accurate. But yeah, let's take a look at some of the details and the differences. So I'll probably make like a full comparison video on both of these figures. So I won't cover every single bit of detail in this video. So if you guys want to check that video out, then it will be on the channel. But yeah, for the moment, let's take a look at the main differences on both of these figures. So of course the biggest difference is the head sculpts. And of course the outfits are completely different. This is the like original remake outfits with all these bright colors. We have reds in here, we have, you know, whites and blacks. Whereas the AC designs are mainly black, I guess. It's a very dark color scheme, which I think is very, you know, it's very fitting because it's a pretty depressing film. And it's probably my all-time favorite anime film. You know, it's just such a great film. I love AC so much. But yeah, anyhow, let's get back to the figures here. So we have this band on the arm, which of course is not on the remake design. And of course I mean, even like the whole paint job is just a lot different as well on both of these figures. I think the paint job is a lot more clean on the remake, which is to be expected. So Playarts Kai have had a long time to improve on the paint job since releasing these old AC figures. Also, the older Playarts Kai figures have this super weird shiny wash over the entire figure. As you guys can see, that it's super shiny, which I really don't know why. But you know, older Playarts Kai figures were just like that. And here we have a look at the back of the figures. So let's check out the differences. As you can see, there's a pretty big difference in terms of the design. It looks, I mean, so much different from each other. You almost couldn't even tell that these are the same character. But anyhow, let's take a look at the AC Tifa with this long, almost like a long cloak piece. I'm really not sure what this is, if it's like the back of her jacket or if it's like almost a skirt piece. I really don't know, but on the remake we just have this skirt piece. And it also seems like the hair is a lot longer on the remake version compared to the AC version. And as for the sides of the figure, so as you can see, the figures pretty much stand the same height, which is really good to see. I was a little bit worried that maybe the AC Tifa would stand a little bit shorter compared to the remake, but it doesn't seem to be the case here. I think they pretty much stand the same heights. Yeah, so very nice to see that. Just thought I would point that out. So that's a quick comparison on both of these Playarts Kai Tifa Lockharts. Okay, so let's take a look at the articulation for the figure. So the figure's got pretty nice articulation. So as for the head sculpt, we have a ball joint in there. Now as for the hairpiece, it's made out of a hard piece of plastic, so you can't really bend it. I wish it was made out of a softer piece of plastic because now it's just kind of stuck in this stiff position, which doesn't really look that great. But anyhow, we have these ball hinge joints at the shoulders, and these are very nice joints, very strong, sturdy joints. We have these swivels at the biceps, and we have these double hinge joints at the elbows. And these are actually the newly developed Playarts Kai joints. As you can see, it's kind of like a double hinge joints in one joint. And it gives us extra bend, which is really nice. And of course we have a ball hinge joint at the wrists, and we have a ball joint inside the torso piece. We have a ball joint at the waist. We have these ball ratchet joints at the hips, as you guys can hear that. Now we don't have a swivel joint here at the thigh, which is a little bit disappointing because they could have easily hidden one right here, you know. It would have been perfect. But anyhow, moving on, so we have once again a double hinge joint at the knee, and it can go all the way up, as you can see, which is really nice. And we have a ball hinge joint at the ankle, and then we have a hinge joint at the toe. And yeah, that pretty much covers it for the articulation for Tifa Lockhart. So yeah guys, that pretty much covers it for the new Play Arts Kai Final Fantasy VII Remake Tifa Lockhart. So yes guys, a very nice figure. I would say go ahead and pick this figure up if you guys haven't already. It is a very nice figure that photos and videos just don't do this figure justice. So if you guys are a big fan of Tifa Lockhart, then I don't think you guys will be disappointed with this figure. It's a very nice piece. I'm gonna have a review of every single remake figure here. So if you guys want to check it out, then it will be on the channel. So don't forget to ring that bell notification so you guys don't miss out on all these reviews. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video and I hope it was helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, stay safe, have a great day, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Alright, take it easy guys.